COMMUNICATION. Hello. Today I'm going to be discussing a microculture that I'm involved in, which is being a high school cheerleader. I've been a cheerleader since I was about 6. I've cheered all 4 years of high school, and I got Coaches Award MVP, and I was captain my junior and senior year. Cheerleading has helped me become a well-rounded person. I built very good relationships with my team and the people I've been around, and in general it helped me become me. So first I'm going to start off by defining what a microculture is. A microculture is an identifiable group of people who share a set of values, beliefs, and behaviors, and who possess a common history and have a verbal and nonverbal symbol system. Cheerleading should be considered a microculture because of the characteristics that we all possess, such as being spirited, dedicated, and athletic. Those are 3 characteristics that all cheerleaders should possess. The second reason why cheerleading should be considered a microculture is because it follows a definition to a T. Cheerleading, we all share the same sets of values, such as being spirited, sets of beliefs, such as bringing our school together and also believing in our team. And the third, which is behaviors, when we're in uniform, we all have to be professional and be fellow leaders for our peers. The dominant culture here in the United States is our American society in general. And within our American society, our verbal code system is English. And that is very similar to what we do in cheerleading. All of our cheers are in English, all of our chants are in English, and everything that we do is based on our dominant language here in the United States. But what makes cheerleading differ from the dominant culture is our nonverbal communication system. Nonverbal communication includes body gestures, body language, facial expressions, voice, smell, personal space, geographical space, time, and artifacts. And this is where it comes down to cheerleading in general being different from the dominant culture. Our facial expressions, let's just start off with that. We have to do crazy facial expressions on competition days and on game days. When I was younger in cheer, they used to put Vaseline all over my teeth so I would keep my smile on my face. Because if you are a cheerleader performing in front of your homestand crowd or a huge crowd with a bunch of different cheerleaders and 4 judges sitting in front of you, they will give you points off for not smiling. Facial expressions is a whole nother category on a scoring sheet for a competition for cheerleaders. You have to do crazy fun expressions, and that makes your performance 100% better because of the energy it brings to it. For a second thing, including in nonverbal communication, is our body gestures. We have to be tight, we have to be professional in our uniform, and we cannot be clumsy because that just makes everything look sloppy. And our body language, the way we walk, the way we have our posture, the way we have our hands on our hips and our feet together and our smiles on our lips, all comes together to make a cheerleader. The prevalence of cheerleading in the United States and around the world is very widespread. A few facts here for you today will help you understand how widespread it really has been, dating all the way back to the date of November 2nd, 1898. On that day, there was a football game from Princeton University versus the University of Minnesota. A graduate from Princeton University brought cheers that he made up because he was considered a yell leader at Princeton. He made these cheers to support the University of Minnesota's football team because they were undergoing a losing streak. Kind of weird, I know, they're reversing each other, but he made these cheers up for this team because he moved to Minnesota. And on November 2nd, 1898, that football game, 6 male cheerleaders entertained the crowd for the first time ever, and this is a date that is considered the birth of cheerleading. And in 1903, the Gamma Sigma fraternity, which I didn't know, was founded as the first for cheerleaders. So if you didn't know that, that's a pretty cool fact. And then in 1923, during World War II, is when the shift to mostly female cheer squads began, because females were joining the cheer teams in 1923. And then pom-poms were invented in 1930s and were originally called pom-poms. And I had no idea. And all these facts came from thoughtco.com. And to shift over to other countries that have cheerleading, there are at least 4 million cheerleaders in 31 countries. Some statistics point to 3.82 million cheerleaders in the United States alone as of 2017, ages 6 and up. Now this is a big number for a sport. I know a lot of other sports have many other people participating, but cheerleading is what we're talking about today, and 4 million is a pretty big number to have a lot of kids from 6 and up to be cheering in so many different countries. I think it's amazing. I am part Japanese, and I was shown by my grandmother the cheer squads that she was in when she was younger, around the 1940s. She was in the cheer squads, or the 50s. Their cheer squads up to date now have pyramids stacked 30 feet in the air. And a pyramid is a structure where, I'm sure we all know what a pyramid is, but a cheer pyramid is when there's a formation of bases and back spots and they're flyers. But in Japan, they take it to a whole nother level and stack girls on top of girls and throw them across the mat and catch them in midair when they're also standing on other girls. I highly recommend you look it up on YouTube. It's amazing. And this just shows how prevalent cheerleading is throughout the world. Some other fun facts that I have for you today are that 97% of cheerleaders are female and 3% are male up to date. But 50% of college students, not college students, college cheerleaders are male, and the other 50 are women. So that just shows how after high school, a lot of males from the 3% to the 50% jump join cheerleading. That's a big gap. And another fun fact that I had no idea about was that our ex-president, George W. Bush, was a cheerleader when he was younger. And I thought that was pretty cool. And something that I did mention before, but is also a fact, is that cheerleaders carry through a very difficult routine without any safety. And that just makes the point that cheerleading is a sport. And this is a very argumentative topic in high schools, that cheerleading is not a sport, or it is a sport, but cheerleading is definitely considered a sport. And this is a fact because you practice just like any other team. You are a team just like any other team. Just because you're wearing skirts and a pretty uniform and don't have any pads on still doesn't make it not a sport. You carry a whole other person's body weight, between 2 or 1 girl sometimes, and you do pretty brutal things on the mat and get pretty hurt sometimes. And yeah, so I'm just putting it out there that cheerleading is definitely considered an American sport. So this is my presentation on my microculture of being a high school cheerleader. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from it. Thank you. Bye.